Have you ever listened to native English speakers and wondered why they sound so confident and intelligent? Well, the secret isn't complicated grammar or big vocabulary words. It's knowing the right phrases, the ones that make even simple ideas sound sophisticated and genuine. Today, I'm sharing 10 English phrases that native speakers use constantly. And once you start using them, people will instantly think you speak English at a much higher level. Hey, welcome back to Daily English Edge. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn 10 phrases that will completely change how people perceive your English. These aren't fancy words or complicated idioms. They're real, authentic expressions that native speakers use every single day in conversations, meetings, and casual chats. By the end of this lesson, you'll have 10 new tools to sound more natural, more confident, and yes, much smarter in English. Let's get started. Our first phrase is "in that sense." This is a connecting phrase that native speakers use to show they understand what someone said and want to add more information. For example, "You're right that studying hard is important. In that sense, discipline is the key to success." Or, "Social media is useful for business. In that sense, it's a powerful marketing tool." This phrase makes you sound thoughtful and analytical because it shows you're building on the ideas carefully. Next is "tend to." This is a polite, sophisticated way to talk about patterns or habits without making absolute statements. Instead of saying, "people like coffee," a native speaker says, "people tend to like coffee." Or instead of, "the weather is cold in winter," they say, "the weather tends to be cold in winter." It sounds more nuanced and intelligent. Example: young professionals tend to prefer flexible work arrangements. Using "tend to" shows you're speaking with precision and avoid overgeneralizing. Third, let's talk about "it stands to reason." This phrase means something is logical or obvious based on the facts. Native speakers use it when they want to introduce a conclusion that follows naturally from what was just said. For example, "if you study every day, it stands to reason that you'll improve faster." Or, "the company has high profits, so it stands to reason they can invest in new projects." This expression makes you sound like you think logically and critically. Here's phrase number 4. "For the most part." This is how native speakers acknowledge that something is generally true, but not always completely true. It's more sophisticated than just saying "usually" or "mostly." For example, "the weather in Spain is warm for the most part, though it can be cold in winter." Or, "she's reliable for the most part, though she's late sometimes." This phrase sounds balanced and thoughtful, showing you can see nuance and complexity. Number 5 is "that being said." This is a transition phrase that native speakers use to introduce a contrasting or additional point. It's more elegant than just saying "but" or "however." Example: "the new restaurant has amazing food. That being said, the service was a bit slow." Or, "he's a talented musician. That being said, he needs more stage experience." You'll hear this constantly in real conversations because it shows you're thinking carefully about different perspectives. Sixth phrase, "I would argue." This is a sophisticated way to share your opinion or perspective without sounding rude or too certain. Native speakers use it in discussions and debates. Example: "I would argue that consistency is more important than perfection." Or, "I would argue that early morning exercise is the best time to work out." Notice it's much more respectful than just saying "I think" or "you're wrong." It shows confidence while remaining open-minded and professional. Number 7. Along those lines. This phrase means similar to what was just said or in that direction. Native speakers use it to add related information smoothly. Example: "the company needs better communication. Along those lines, we should have more team meetings." Or, "I love traveling to new countries. Along those lines, I'm planning a trip to Japan." It sounds natural and helps your conversation flow better. Our 8th phrase is "to some extent." This is perfect when you want to agree with something, but also show there are limits to that agreement. Native speakers use it to sound balanced and nuanced. Example: "money does bring happiness to some extent, but relationships matter more." Or, "technology makes life easier to some extent, though it also creates new problems." This shows you can see multiple sides of an issue, which sounds very intelligent. Number 9. It's not uncommon. This is a polite, intelligent way to say something happens often or is normal. Instead of saying people do this a lot, a native speaker says it's not uncommon for people to do this. Example, it's not uncommon for students to feel nervous before exams. Or, it's not uncommon for companies to offer remote work options these days. This phrasing sounds more sophisticated and professional. Finally, number 10. All things considered. This is what native speakers say when they're about to give their final opinion after thinking about everything. It sounds thoughtful and wise. Example, all things considered, this job is a great opportunity despite the challenges. Or, all things considered, she handled the situation very well. You'll hear this in professional discussions, debates, and whenever someone is reaching a conclusion thoughtfully. There you have it, 10 English phrases that will immediately make you sound smarter and more confident in any conversation. The key now is to use them. Pick 2 or 3 phrases and practice them in your conversations this week. Say them out loud. Use them when you're speaking with friends or colleagues. The more you use these expressions naturally, the faster you'll sound like a native speaker. If this lesson helped you, please subscribe to Daily English Edge for a new English lesson every single day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.